Imagine an island, a tiny speck of green in the vast blue Indian Ocean, completely cut off. Not just from modern civilization, but from history itself. This is North Sentinel Island, and its inhabitants, the Sentinelese people, are a living testament to a world we've long left behind. For potentially tens of thousands of years, they've lived in isolation, the ultimate guardians of their own destiny. But who are they? What is their life like? And why have they so resolutely refused to join the rest of humanity? These are questions that have captivated explorers, anthropologists, and dreamers for centuries, and the answers remain as elusive as the islanders themselves. North Sentinel Island is a place where the 21st century simply doesn't exist. Located in the Andaman Islands archipelago, a territory of India, North Sentinel Island is a place of stunning natural beauty. Lush jungle covers its interior, fringed by coral reefs and white sandy beaches. But that beauty is a fierce barrier. The surrounding waters are treacherous, prone to sudden storms, and the island itself is largely uncharted territory, largely due to the deliberate actions of its inhabitants. The Sentinelese are considered one of the last, if not the last, truly uncontacted indigenous groups on Earth. This means they have no meaningful contact with the outside world. They don't use modern technology. They likely hunt and gather for their sustenance, and their social structures are entirely unknown to us. Their language, their beliefs, their daily lives, all are a profound mystery. Historical records, though sparse, hint at a long and consistent pattern of resistance. Early colonial accounts from the British Empire in the 18th and 19th centuries mention encounters that were far from friendly. One British expedition in 1771 reportedly sighted fires on the island, and upon landing, found hostile inhabitants. Later expeditions also met with arrows and spears, suggesting a clear message: leave. Perhaps one of the most well-known, though tragic incidents that solidified their isolation occurred in 1880. Led by Triloknath Pandit, a government-initiated anthropological expedition landed on the island. They encountered a group of elderly people and several children. They left gifts, but the islanders remained wary. However, when the expedition tried to return, they were met with extreme hostility. The adult islanders fled inland, and the children were eventually taken by the adults. This event seems to have cemented the Sentineleise's determination to remain unseen and untouched. In the 20th century, attempts to contact them continued, often with disastrous results. In 1967, an Indian government-sponsored anthropological expedition attempted contact, leaving gifts. They were met with arrows, and the expedition retreated. The following day, 5 members of the expedition were killed. Following this, the Indian government adopted a policy of non-interference. In 1996, a major effort was made by Dr. Madhusree Dutta, but even this was met with resistance, though no violence this time. The islanders appeared armed, but maintained a distance. This was one of the last significant documented attempts at contact. Then came the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Concerns were raised about the fate of the Sentinelese. However, when the Indian Coast Guard flew over the island, they witnessed a startling scene. Sentinelese men were seen shooting arrows at a Coast Guard helicopter, likely in an attempt to ward off what they perceived as a threat. This visual dispelled fears of mass casualties, but reinforced their fierce protectiveness. More recently, and perhaps most tragically, in November 2018, a young American missionary named John Allen Chow lost his life. Chow, driven by a fervent desire to share his Christian faith, managed to evade authorities and hire local boatmen to take him to the island. He spent a few days interacting cautiously with some Sentinelese, but ultimately, he was killed. His body was returned to the shore later, and his story has become a stark warning about the dangers of attempting to breach the island's intentional isolation. The Sentinelese are believed to speak a unique language, unlike any other known tongue. Anthropologists studying the related Jarawa and Great Andamanese languages have found no discernible links. They are thought to be hunter-gatherers, possibly supplementing their diet with fruits, roots, and fish, caught in the shallow waters around the island. Their physique is described as generally small and dark-skinned, typical of indigenous Andamanese populations. Estimates of their population vary wildly. Some suggest a few dozen, while others believe it could be as high as 200 or more. Given their isolation, it's impossible to say with any certainty. Their society likely operates on principles and structures entirely alien to us: kinship, governance, spirituality, all lost in the mists of time. The existence of the Sentinelese raises profound ethical questions. One of the primary concerns is disease. Indigenous populations with no prior exposure to outside pathogens are incredibly vulnerable. A simple cold or flu could be devastating, potentially leading to an epidemic. This is the primary reason behind the non-interference policy, to protect them from diseases that could wipe them out. There's also the question of their right to self-determination. The Sentinelese have, through their actions, consistently made it clear they do not wish to be contacted. They have asserted their right to live as they choose, free from external influence. Forcing contact, proponents of non-interference argue, would be a violation of their human rights, akin to cultural genocide. Skeptics and critics, however, sometimes question the romanticized view of uncontacted peoples. Some argue that all human societies eventually interact, and that isolation, while perhaps desired by some, might not be sustainable indefinitely. Others point to the potential for exploitation if contact were to happen, suggesting that perhaps a controlled, carefully managed scenario, though fraught with risk, could be better than the current complete unknowing. However, the how of such a managed contact, without inevitably leading to the very dangers it seeks to avoid, remains an insurmountable hurdle. From a scientific perspective, the Sentinelese represent an invaluable, albeit unreachable, living laboratory. Their genetic makeup, their physiology, their adaptation to their specific environment, and their unique cultural development provide a tantalizing glimpse into what human societies might have been like before the advent of agriculture and civilization. Any intervention, however well-intentioned, would irrevocably destroy this unique scientific opportunity. The Indian government has established a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island, making it illegal for anyone to approach. This buffer zone is enforced by the Indian Coast Guard and Navy, aiming to prevent unwanted visitors and protect the islanders and their way of life. So, what do we make of North Sentinel Island and its inhabitants? Are they an anomaly in an increasingly interconnected world? Or are they a profound statement about the human desire for autonomy and the right to remain unmolested? The Sentinelese are not a relic of the past. They are a people living now, in the present, on their own terms. Their story is a humbling reminder that despite our technological advancements and global reach, there are still corners of the world where humanity remains a defiant mystery, and perhaps that mystery is best left undisturbed. Their silence is their voice. Their arrows are their words. They have asked us to stay away, and the greatest respect we can offer them is to listen. We can only observe from afar, appreciate the sheer resilience and determination of a people who have carved out their existence on their own terms, and hope that their isolation can continue to be respected, allowing them to live out their lives free from the often destructive influence of the outside world. It's an ongoing, unanswered question, a profound human enigma still unfolding. What are your thoughts on North Sentinel Island and the Sentinelese? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this exploration into the unknown intriguing, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more journeys into mystery and the unexplained. Thanks for watching.